The aspects of the lotus are very important. The seed form representing many things in the Vedas and also in today's science, which we'll see how the universe can be encapsulated in a seed form, and different aspects of the universe through the heat and cold energy manifesting forms. And we will also see seed form of the galaxy, in which we can visualize the whole galaxy as a seed of potential energy, of electromagnetic energy and principles flowing, and this dynamic shape manifesting in seed form. Seeds in a cosmic sense are like black holes, which give rise to larger and larger structures as they unify, as they come into union with other black holes to create the supermassive center structures of these galaxies. And also that being on Earth, we're inside, we're encapsulated by the surrounding cosmic energies and galactic structures and intergalactic space. So this whole entire thing seen through and inside the seed. The root structures are also very deep and important to this model, because the great voids and the great walls of the larger cosmos bring into display these root structures, these giant great voids and other structures. And in fact, dark matter itself, dark matter and energy, take this root structure, feeding, giving life to the universe, giving support and nourishment to the growing universe. And another important structure of the lotus is the stem. This stem reaches from deep in the mud of the earth and then sprouts forth to give delight to the eyes. And in the same way, the energies of the underlying cosmic form give rise to vacuums, to voids, to structures where energy can dance and play. And just as the lotus has a geometric structure, pattern, form on both the large and the small scale, the universe is not smooth, it's rough. It takes the form of bubbles, it takes the forms of the electromagnetic field and form. And so too do the larger structures of the galaxies. They come together, being pulled together by just the very nature, the fabric of space itself. The fabric coalesces together. These strings are a very deep, important part. They're like the fibres or the fabric of the cosmos. This fabric interlinks many of the galaxies that we've become used to in modern astronomy. Rather than space ripping everything apart in the theories of dark energy or the expansion of the universe, they're actually energy structures called Laniakea spinning through our local galaxy. The hypercluster of galaxies strung together like the lotus fabric, or like what's called the cosmic web. Our local web structure gives the very dynamic and understanding of what is a black hole, what is a supermassive black hole, and how these energies are in modern cosmology, and how we can understand them through these structures of the stem. So the beauty of the stem is very important both in nature and in cosmology. The flowering galaxy, which we're going to be talking a lot more about, is the fruit, is the flower of this wonderful, gigantic structure. So we're just like a tiny dot on the end of a thread, being spun around these central flow structures that resemble the lotus, that resemble this root and stem structure. The great attractor, our local great attractor called Laniakea in modern cosmology, is like on the side of a pore of that gigantic Mahavishnu. And the galaxy is related to the infinities of other Garbhodakshaya Vishnus, or galactic children that will be born and give rise to the Brahma lotus structure, or Satyalok. Just as the flower of the lotus goes through a cycle of budding and blossoming, in the same way galaxies, they first form pre-buds. Just as the lotus goes through this cycle, galaxies also go through this cycle, from the bud phase in the form of the alpha Lyman blob, which forms huge forests, massive forests of pre-formed galaxies, and also quasars, which are like galaxies towards the end of their life. And this creates a forest, the forest of the cosmos, the forest of the galaxies, blossoming out of the black body. So this blossoming is an important feature. We're going to talk more about the alpha Lyman blob and these primitive structures of galaxies being born and encased. It talks about this in the Vedas of Brahma, in the Brahmakalpa or the Padmakalpa. The galaxy still covered by this dust and gas and not being privy to the outer larger black body. So being constricted and forcing and growing forth like a golden egg. This is the Brahmanda, the golden egg manifesting out of the black body, the spiritual body of Mahavishnu, who represents the intergalactic time-space fabric. Krishna is very important in this connection, where sound streams forth energy, vibration, and in the same way, we are also made of vibration. We're made of particles, we're made of cosmic dust, and to feel that connection to the universe is a very important part of cosmotheology, cosmotheism, and connects us to these larger structures in a very easy way, when we can get over the fear of the cosmos and the fear of the large, and actually dive in to get in touch with the formation of the galaxies and the movement of these larger structures. The galaxy is a very unique part of modern cosmology and also ancient Vedic cosmology, where they're directly related to the Lord himself in the form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and how he blossoms forth in that majestic form to give rise and open up his form into the galaxy we see today with its 4 arms. But in the beginning, this journey takes place by the unfoldment of energy forming at the center of these alpha Lyman blobs. And the alpha Lyman blobs push forward as if from the navel of this Garbhodak Vishnu, who dwells in the fluid of the galaxy, and this lotus blossoms out of his navel. We see in nature how it attracts life. This lotus brings life to the environment, and in the same way, the lotus structure that blossoms out of these developing galaxies brings life and energy in these original plasma forms. And this form is blossoming like a twin lotus. The twin lotus is a very deep spiritual and indeed scientific value, and is one of the core memes of this discussion about the mystery and miracle of the original Black Hercules and the mystery of the Lotus Omnifractal. So we see this blossoming like the dual lotus, bringing life, bringing a deeper sense of vision to our current view, using nature to tap into deeper concepts of the cosmos. This Garbhodak Vishnu, the blossoming of his lotus is ultimately for him to display his 4-armed form, which is our current galaxy today. and his body is the structure of the galaxy. So nestled within the dark energy and the dark matter surrounding the galaxy, this form arises to what we see today. So in our active galaxy we have this Fermi bubble, these lotus structures and stem structure blossoming out of the center in either direction. And even in the mathematics and in the visualization of these structures, we see this lotus in the mathematics. It's a very important structure that all cosmologists seem to be pointing to, all physics seems pointing to this twin lotus blossoming. That's also at the core of Radha and Krishna and understanding the central beliefs of energy and what that can offer us. So deep at the center, this electromagnetic field is blasting forth huge amounts of energy. And these are all connected to that stem structure as well, and surrounded by many different Fermi bubbles. At the core, moving this engine is, in fact, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Seen through the radio image today, we can see this giant face, and also the snake Anantadev, the principle of gravity, the principle of coiling, the vortex. So the vortex and the lotus and the serpent coils all have a deep connection to understanding the galaxy and how the beauty and structure of this sacred form, in fact, comes into being. So we're in an active time of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. His four arms allow bringing to life the flow of stars, the flow of different forms of energy. The stars take many forms. There's magna stars, there's all kinds of giant neutron stars, and all kinds of planets, not only on the Earth, but also other Earth-like planets as well. Unbelievable kinds of structures. But this lotus structure is the key to understanding galaxies in their active phase. So the active phase of the galaxy brings to life this dynamic lotus structure. As we contemplate this structure, we look towards the lotus. This lotus omnifractal gives a sense of a self-replicating symmetry and energy moving through this symmetry. That time and space gives rise to this vortex swirling symmetry, which is the lotus. The lotus is the way forward, both in science and spirituality. It has been integral part of spirituality since time immemorial, and now science is beginning to understand its value. Its value is deeply embedded into the Vedic and Puranic traditions of India, as well as Buddhism and Jainism, and is deeply ingrained into many aspects of understanding the future of cosmology. So the future gives us hope when we embrace these structures. And the galaxy comes to an end also, and these ending structures are like the quasars. Some believe they might be the beginnings or the sprouting of the galaxy, but they can also be seen as the end, where there are seemingly no suns and the cycle has come to an end. But also that the seeds of other energy have moved out to form new structures within the intergalactic media. This is also connected to the breath of Mahavishnu, the greatest structure, where the manifestation of the visible universe is through a cyclic breathing, like Einstein thought. Einstein believed in an eternal cyclic universe, and we see this also in the lotus.